The passive voice. The active, the passive. Subject and verb and object and completion. Object and V to be plus PP. I am reading a story at this moment. A story is being read at this moment. Ali will join the faculty next year. The faculty will be joined next year. 1 affirmative sentences. The active, the passive. The simple present. Subj. Plus inf. Inf. Plus s, i.e. subj. Plus is, r and pp. Ahmed usually helps me. I'm usually helped by Ahmed. We study science every year. Science is studied every year. She likes music and football. Music and football are liked by her. The past simple. Subj. Plus verb in the second form obj. Plus was, were and pp. They launched the satellite last week. The satellite was launched 6 years ago. He broke the cups. The cups were broken by him. The present continuous. Subj. Plus is, r and being obj. Plus is, r and being and pp. A policeman is watching me. I'm being watched by a policeman. I'm writing a letter now. A letter is being written now. They are repairing the bridges. The bridges are being repaired. The past continuous. Subj. Plus was, were and being obj. Plus was, were and being and pp. My brother was watching a new film. A new film was being watched. They were carrying the injured players. The injured players were being carried. The present perfect. Subj. Plus have, has and p.p obj. Plus have, has and been and p.p. He has repaired the car for a week. The car has been repaired for a week. People have seen wolves in the streets. Wolves have been seen in the streets. The present perfect continuous. Subj. Plus have, has and been and being. Obj. Plus have, has and been and pp. She has been studying math for 3 years. Math has been studied for 3 years. I have been writing a story since May. A story has been written since May. The past perfect. Subj. Plus had and p.p. Obj. Plus had and been and pp. Nilesat had transmitted TV programs. TV programs had been transmitted. The past perfect continuous. Subj. Plus had and been plus being. Obj. Plus had and been and pp. They had been repairing the road. The road had been repaired. The future simple. Subj. Plus will and inf. Obj. Plus will be and pp. They will play the match tomorrow. The match will be played tomorrow. Hani will call me at night. I will be called by Hani at night. The future continuous. Subj. Plus will be plus being. Obj. Plus will be and being and pp. I'll be phoning her. She will be being phoned. They will be watching the match. The match will be being watched. Auxiliary, defective, verbs. Subj. Plus auxiliary verb and infinitive. Obj. Plus auxiliary verb and be and pp. People should avoid smoking. Smoking should be avoided. You must shut these doors. These doors must be shut. Subj. Plus auxiliary verb and have and p.p. Obj. Plus auxiliary. V plus have and been and p.p. They should have told him. He should have been told. We must have paid the bills. The bills must have been paid. Verbs and to and infinitive. Subj. Plus verbs and to and infinitive. Obj. Plus verbs and to and be and pp. You ought to open the windows. The windows ought to be opened.
You have to leave the place now. The place has to be left now. Two negative sentences. The active, the passive. The simple present. Subj. Plus don't, doesn't and infinitive. Obj. Plus am not, isn't, aren't and pp. Amen doesn't know me. I'm not known by Amen. My friends don't study Spanish. Spanish isn't studied by my friends. Some people don't like music. Music is not liked by some people. The past simple. Subj. Plus didn't and infinitive. Obj. Plus wasn't, weren't and pp. I didn't meet Nada yesterday. Nada wasn't met by me yesterday. She didn't help them. They weren't helped by her. The present continuous. Subj. Plus am not isn't aren't and being obj. Plus am not isn't, aren't and being and pp. He isn't doing homework now. Homework isn't being done now. I am not solving exams at the moment. Exams aren't being solved at the moment. The past continuous. Subj. Plus wasn't, weren't plus being. Obj. Plus wasn't, weren't and being and pp. He wasn't attending the meeting. The meeting wasn't being attended. She wasn't writing the reports. The reports weren't being written. The present perfect. Subj. Plus haven't, hasn't and pp. Obj. Plus haven't, hasn't and been and pp. Ali hasn't met her before. She hasn't been met before by Ali. We haven't eaten Chinese food yet. Chinese food hasn't been eaten yet. The present perfect continuous. Subj. Plus haven't he hasn't he and been plus being. Obj. Plus haven't, hasn't and been and pp. I haven't been watching TV for a week. TV hasn't been watched for a week. The past perfect. Subj. Plus hadn't and pp. Obj. Plus hadn't and been and pp. He hadn't visited the museum. The museum hadn't been visited. The past perfect continuous. Subj. plus hadn't and been plus being. Obj. Plus hadn't and been and pp. I hadn't been writing an essay. An essay hadn't been written. The future simple. Subj. Plus will not, won't, plus inf. Obj. Plus will not, won't, be and pp. We won't buy a car this year. A car won't be bought this year. The future continuous. Subj. Plus will not be plus being. Obj. Plus will not be and being and pp. They won't be playing tennis. Tennis won't be being played. Auxiliary, defective, verbs. Subj. Plus auxiliary. V plus not and infinitive. Obj. Plus auxiliary. V plus not and be and pp. You can't solve these questions. These questions can't be solved. He needn't know your name. Your name needn't be known. Subj. Plus auxiliary V plus have and p dot p. Obj. Plus auxiliary. V plus have and been and p dot p. I couldn't have passed it. It couldn't have been passed. Verbs and not to and infinitive. Subj. Plus verbs and not and to and infinitive. Obj. Plus verbs and not and to and be and pp. They ought not to take the prize. The prize ought not to be taken. 3 interrogative sentences. The active, the passive. The simple present. Do, does and subj. Plus infinitive. Is, are and obj. Plus pp. Does he employ many people? Are many people employed by him? What do you give Ahmed? What is Ahmed given? The past simple. Did and subj. Plus infinitive. Was, were and obj. Plus pp. Did the storm damage the crops? Were the crops damaged by the storm? Where did she keep the book? Where was the book kept? The present continuous. Is, are and subj. Plus being. Is, are and obj. Plus being and pp. Are you reading a novel now? Is a novel being read now? Why is he writing a message? Why is a message being written? The past continuous. Was, were and subj. Plus being. Was, were and obj. Plus being and pp. Was she mending the bike? Was the bike being mended? Why were they carrying out this project? Why were these projects being carried out? The present perfect. Have, has and subj. Plus p.p. Have, has and obj. Plus been and p.p. Has she washed the dishes? Have the dishes been washed? How long have you known her? How long has she been known? The present perfect continuous. Have, has and subj. Plus been plus being. Have, has and obj. Plus been and pp. Has she been watching the play? Has the play been watched? Where have you been meeting them? Where have they been met? The past perfect. Had and subj. Plus p.p. Had and obj. Plus been and pp. Had he found the wallet? Had the wallet been found? When had Sarah finished the report? When had the report been finished? The past perfect continuous. had and subj. Plus been plus being. Had and obj. Plus been and pp. Had you been making the cake? Had the cake been made? When had she been cleaning the flat? When had the flat been cleaned? The future simple. Will and subj. Plus inf. Will and obj. Plus be and pp. Will you attend the party? Will the party be attended? When will they visit their aunt? When will their aunt be visited? Auxiliary, defective, verbs. Auxiliary verb and subj. Plus infinitive. Auxiliary verb and obj. Plus be and pp.
Can Mona drive the bus? Can the bus be driven? How could he win the race? How could the race be won? Important notes. Think, consider, know, believe, say. Find, understand, claim, report, deny. Expect, announce, allege, acknowledge. People say, people believe. It is said, it is believed. He is said to, he is believed to. People said, people believed. It was said, it was believed. He was said, he was believed to. People say that he is just. It is said that he is just. He is said to be just. People said that he is just. It was said that he is just. He was said to be just. People expect that he will win the cup. It is expected that he will win the cup. He is expected to win the cup. People expected that he will win the cup. It was expected that he will win the cup. He was expected to win the cup. People think that he stole the money. It is thought that he stole the money. He is thought to have stolen the money. People thought that he stole the money. It was thought that he stole the money. He was thought to have stolen the money. People announced that he was jealous of her. It was announced that he was jealous of her. He was announced to have been jealous of her. Ali has already sent me a postcard. A postcard has already been sent to me. I have already been sent a postcard. Someone gave her a bulldog. She was given a bulldog. A bulldog was given to her. Nobody has phoned me. I haven't been phoned. No one saw the thief. The thief wasn't seen. Note the following. The active, the passive. I can't do anything for you. Nothing can be done for you. The pupils can solve the problem quickly. The problem can be quickly solved. I don't like people cheating me. I don't like being cheated. I'd like people to call me sir. I'd like to be called sir. I wondered how long they'd followed me. I wondered how long I'd been followed. The boss made us do the work again. We were made to do the work again. Smoke filled the room was filled with smoke. Paint covered the lock. The lock was covered with paint. We must write to him. He must be written to. You can play with these cups quite safely. These cups can be played with quite safely. He looked after the children well. The children were well looked after. We saw them go out. They were seen to go out. They let us go. We were let go. It's necessary to switch off the radio. The radio must be switched off. It was necessary to switch off the radio. The radio must have been switched off. Don't make noise. Noise mustn't / shouldn't be made. Who killed the cat? By whom was the cat killed? Whom the teacher punished? Who was punished by the teacher? Who wrote it? Who was it written by? What caused this crack? What was this crack caused by?